Hi, this is Matt from Ed Financial Services, and I'm here to walk you through the income-driven repayment plan request form. Although it may appear difficult, completing a paper request form is actually pretty easy as long as you follow the step-by-step instructions on the form. Following the instructions will guide you through the form and tell you which questions need to be answered, what documentation will be required, and where to send your completed request form. Let's go ahead and get started by taking a closer look at each section. Section 1. Borrower Information. Make sure to enter all of the required information and include your Social Security number so that we can easily identify your account. Also, if your contact information has changed, please check the box above the Social Security number field so that your account can be updated accordingly. Section 2. Repayment Plan or Recertification Request. In this section, you will 1. Indicate the reason for your request. 2. Choose your repayment plan. 3. Let us know if you have federal student loans with another servicer. And 4. If you are on a deferment or forbearance, you can choose how you would like us to proceed with the processing of your application. Let's take a closer look at Item 1 before we continue. There are 4 reasons for completing this application. Select the first option on the form if this is your initial income-driven repayment request. If you are already on an income-driven repayment plan and it's due for the annual recertification, then you will want to select the second option. You can select the third option if you are already on an income-driven repayment plan but need to submit documentation early because your financial circumstances have changed and you need your monthly payment recalculated immediately. Finally, select the fourth option if you are on an income-driven repayment plan and would like to switch to another type of income-driven repayment plan. After you have indicated the reason for your request, you may be instructed to choose which income-driven repayment plan you're applying for. The 4 plans are Revised Pay-As-You-Earn or Repay, Pay-As-You-Earn or Pay, Income-Based Repayment or IBR, and Income Contingent Repayment or ICR. But as shown on the application, we recommend that you choose the first option, and we will place you on the repayment plan that offers the lowest monthly payment. Answer any other applicable questions in Section 2 before moving on to the next section. Section 3. Family Size Information. In this section, you will provide some information about your family size. Please note that you will not be including yourself or your spouse at this time. We will collect that information in the next section. For now, you will need to indicate the number of children you support, as well as people who live in your household who receive more than half of their support from you. If you have further questions about the definition of family size, please reference Section 9 of the application. Section 4. Section 4 is broken down into 4 separate sections. Section 4A, Marital Status Information. Section 4B, Income Information for single borrowers and married borrowers treated as single. Section 4C, Income Information for married borrowers filing jointly. Section 4D, Income Information for married borrowers filing separately. You will start by completing Section 4A, Marital Status Information. Depending on how you answered the questions in this section, you will proceed to either Section 4B, 4C, or 4D for additional questions about your, and if applicable, your spouse's income. Section 4A, Marital Status Information. Let's take a look at number 7. What is your marital status? If you are single, you will check the box accordingly and proceed to Section 4B, Item 11. If you are married, You will continue answering the questions in this section, and your answers will dictate which section you need to complete next. We will take a closer look at this scenario in just a moment. If you are married, but separated from your spouse, and/or not able to reasonably access your spouse's income information, you will be treated as single and skip to Section 4B, Item 11. Section 4B, Income Information for Single Borrowers and Married Borrowers Treated as Single. If you are single or married and treated as single, then you will complete Section 4B and answer questions about your income beginning with Item 11. Has your income significantly changed since you last filed your federal tax return? Or, did you file a federal income tax return for either of the past 2 years? Do you currently have any taxable income? Answer each question and pay careful attention to the instructions after each one, as you will be given specific directions on what documentation should be provided. If you are single, or married and treated as single, then you're almost finished. Skip to Section 6, read through it completely, sign the application, and you're finished. Section 4C, Income Information for Married Borrowers Filing Jointly. This section only needs to be completed if you are married and file your federal tax return jointly with your spouse. Beginning with Item 13, has your or your spouse's income significantly changed since you last filed? Or, have you and your spouse filed a federal tax return in either of the past 2 tax years? Do you or your spouse currently have any taxable income? Answer each question and pay careful attention to the instructions after each one, as you'll be given specific directions on what steps need to be completed next. Section 4D, Income Information for Married Borrowers Filing Separately. Section 4D only needs to be completed if you are married and you and your spouse file separate federal tax returns. If you file separately, you will begin with Item 17 and follow the instructions based on your answers. Has your or your spouse's income significantly changed since you last filed? Or, have you and your spouse filed a federal tax return in either of the past 2 tax years? Do you or your spouse currently have any taxable income? Answering these questions completes Section 4D. Reminders. Let's go over a couple of quick reminders before we complete the application. Please note that your application cannot be processed without income documentation, so depending on how you answered the questions on the form, you may provide either your most recently filed federal income tax return, proof of your current income such as a current pay stub, or you may certify that you do not have any taxable income. If you are not using your tax return as income documentation and are providing current proof of income instead, please make sure that it is dated within 90 days of the date you sign your IDR application. Be sure to read Section 5 for instructions on documenting your current income. Also, if you are married, your spouse is required to sign this form unless you are separated from your spouse or you're unable to reasonably access your spouse's income information. After you complete this section, you're almost finished. Just skip over to Section 6, read through it completely, and sign the application. You can send us your completed application and income documentation by using the Upload Documents feature in Manage My Account, or you can mail or fax the documents to us. Once we receive your application and any necessary documentation, we will process your request in 7 to 10 business days and notify you in writing regarding the status of your request. This completes the process, but if you still have questions, please visit our Help Center or give us a call at 1-855-337-6884 and let one of our friendly customer service representatives assist you.